I'm now live now on Facebook and Instagram. So, hello to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I told you that we would be on Monday, and we are. It is finally done. We finally did it for Miss Hope's Reading Hour. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So, if you are on Facebook, please let me know, make a comment so that I can see that you are here. I'm so excited. So, this will be the first live video on YouTube. Ah, can you tell that I'm excited? I am super excited. I cannot believe this. It took a while because, as you know, I was still trying to figure out all of the. Yes. Thank you so much, Facebook user. So, just so you all know, if you are on Facebook and you are watching, in order for YouTube, for my young friends, my adult friends, my teacher friends too, in order for me to see who you are, because we're streaming through a service called StreamYard, in order for me to see who it is on Facebook, there, I believe, is a little tab that asks if you allow for StreamYard to see who you are, for StreamYard to show your name. Okay? So it's just a way for me to broadcast to several platforms at once. It's not going to use your information or anything like that. So if you are comfortable with that, okay, you can hit that little link and it will show me who it is. I'm so happy that the YouTube channel and the Facebook channel and the Instagram are all on at the same time. Can you tell that I'm excited? It is a very marvelous Monday, and I am Miss Hope of Miss Hope's Reading Hour, and I'm so very glad to be here with you all on this marvelous Monday, this marvelous, very hot Monday. Okay? So, if any of my young ones have been outside yet, if any of my adult friends have been outside yet, um, I'm sorry. One of the Facebook users said it's not there. Oh, okay. So thank you for letting me know that. So I probably have to put that there. Still got to work out some kinks, okay? Because this is the first time that I'm doing this on all three platforms. So just have to work out some kinks, okay? Um, so yeah, if you've been outside, I hope you had a lot of water, okay? I hope that you took some breaks to be in the shade because it is really hot. I went outside this morning. As you all know, I've been working on my container garden in my yard, and I have some bad news. That's bad news. Our fair melon that I could hold in my hand like this, like it was that big, my fair melon fell prey to a squirrel. And the squirrel took some nice little bites out of my melon. So I had to cut the melon off of the vine. My first melon. Now there's four other ones that are growing. Okay, they're still pretty tiny, um, but they're growing. But yeah, that one I was like, well, maybe I could save it. And yeah, I was like, mm-mm. Because you don't know what kind of diseases squirrels have, and you can't save it to possibly want your family to eat it. So, yeah, I had to sacrifice the one. Yeah. And that same squirrel or its squirrel friends, okay, decided they wanted to eat one of my cucumbers too. That cucumber was like this long, had some nice little bites out of my cucumber too. But not to worry, there is also another cucumber on the vine that is about that long. So what I did was I bought some netting to put over my plants and I put those on this morning so those pesky birds and squirrels can't get to my plants. Okay. So yes, once I have another big growing melon, I will take some pictures and share it with you. But I was kind of bummed about that. But all is not lost. Okay. So hopefully, if you are growing gardens with your parents, or if any of my adult friends are growing plants in their yards, hopefully it's going well for your plants. Okay. So now today, I took a picture of our teaser book for today. And the theme for today is things that you're passionate about. So, one thing I'm passionate about is education and reading. I'm passionate about art, as you can see behind me. I'm passionate about music. And sometimes when you're really passionate about stuff, every now and then, everybody can't really understand why you're as passionate about what it is that you're doing. But um, it doesn't mean that you can't keep being passionate about it. That doesn't mean that you would just all of a sudden say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore because no one understands. So if you love something, you really love it, you're going to keep doing it, right? So that is where our first two books are coming from. Two books about two kids who are passionate about the thing that they really, really love. Okay? So our first book was a find. When I found this, I was like, oh, I really like this book. I really like the pictures and the cover. I'm one of those cover people. If I see a book with a really cool cover, I want to read it because I think it looks interesting. So our first book for today is called Iggy Peck Architect. Okay? So we'll learn about kind of what an architect is and why he's so passionate about architecture. And everybody may not understand why he is, but that's the thing he loves and he's passionate about. So we are going to read Iggy Peck Architect today. Okay? Our next book, unfortunately, this was a find, but I think that it had a paper cover because this is the cover and it has nothing but words on it. Nothing but words. But I have a feeling, right, that this book had a paper cover. Because as you know, Miss Hope is it's a little cumbersome to read a book with the paper cover on because you're trying to turn pages and keep the cover on at the same time. So I usually take the paper cover off, but I keep the paper covers because I like them. So this book right here is called The Word Collector. See all those words on there? It's called The Word Collector. Okay? And we're going to read this book today because the kid in this book is mad about words. He's passionate about words. So we're going to read The Word Collector today. And last but not least, I do believe that we have about 2 days today and Wednesday, our marvelous Monday today, and our wonderful Wednesday. I think those will be the last 2 days that we are reading Crenshaw. Okay? So, the last time we were reading Crenshaw, he showed up. I was like, I told you. I'm like, he's gonna show up at the end. He's gonna show up. So he has shown up. And Jackson has been honest with Marisol about everything that's been going on. And he tells her about Crenshaw. Now, all we have to find out now is how Crenshaw is going to help him help his family. You got to find out. Okay? So, if you will indulge me for a minute, I want to see something. Nope, that's not there. Okay, so I wanted to see if I could do something. I can't do it just yet, but the next time, okay? Because this is all new to me with StreamYard. All right. So our first book, we are going to read The Word Collector. This book is by Peter H. Reynolds. The Word Collector. The Word Collector by Peter Hamilton Reynolds. A very distinguished name. All right. Did I get that? Yes. Collectors collect things. Some people collect stamps. Some people collect coins. Others collect rocks, like I did when I was younger. Some collect art. Some collect bugs. Some people collect comic books. Others collect baseball cards. And Jerome, what did he collect? We must see. Jerome collected words. He collected words he heard. My trip to Peru was perfectly pleasant. Certain words caught his attention. He collected words he saw. Willow tea shop. Willow. Certain words jumped out at him. He collected words he read. Emerald. Certain words popped off the page. He's reading The Wizard of Oz. So when it got to the part about the Emerald City, he was like, ooh, what a fascinating word, emerald. Short and sweet words like spark, bloom, drift, drink. Two-syllable treats like treasure, candid, hover, motif, whisper, and glimmer. And multi-syllable words that sounded like little songs. Kaleidoscope, wonderful, guacamole, geometry, symphony. There were words he did not know the meaning of at first, but they were marvelous to say. Aromatic, vociferous, effervescent. There were words whose sounds were perfectly suited for their meaning. Molasses, torrential, Tyrannosaurus rex, smudge, bellow. Jerome filled his scrapbooks with more and more of his favorite words. Jerome's collection grew. He began organizing them: dreamy, science, sad, action, poetic. One day, while transporting them, whoa, look at all those words. That's a lot of boxes of words. Passionate about words. Jerome slipped and his words went flying. Oh man. Whoa. As he began to pick them up, he noticed his collections had become jumbled. Big words next to little words, sad words next to dreamy words. How you could keep all of that straight, I don't know. Jerome began stringing words together, words he had not imagined being side by side. He used his words to write poems. He used his poems to make songs. They moved and delighted. That's the wonderful thing about writing music. You just have a whole bunch of words to use to convey a feeling. Some of his simplest words were his most powerful. I understand. I'm sorry. Thank you. You matter. Ooh, new book pages. Jerome eagerly collected more and more of his favorite words. He's collecting even more? You saw all of those books with those words? And he's still collecting even more. The more words he knew, the more clearly he could share with the world what he was thinking, feeling, and dreaming. One breezy afternoon, Jerome climbed the highest hill, pulling a wagon packed with his word collection. Look at that bag. That is a lot of words. That is a lot. He smiled as he emptied his collection of words into the wind. He saw children in the valley below, scurrying about, collecting words from the breeze. How cool is that? Jerome had no words to describe how happy that made him. The end. What a nice story. Who would have thought of collecting words? So that would seem like something a little strange. But if words is what you love, like people who write books, you want to share it with everyone. So instead of just keeping the words to himself, He threw them to the wind and shared them with all of his other friends. That's what you do sometimes with things that you're passionate about. Usually, if you're passionate about something, you don't want to keep it to yourself. You want to share it with other people. Such a good book about learning new words and sharing what you're passionate about with other people. The Word Collector. I'm going to find the paper cover to it and I'm going to post a picture of it on um, Facebook and Instagram so that you guys can see what the book looks like in case you want to buy it for your young ones. Okay? So, young ones, make sure you look back so you'll see the paper cover of it. Okay? The Word Collector by Peter Hamilton Reynolds. Very distinguished name. Okay, so to our teaser book, Iggy Peck Architect. Isn't that a cool cover? This book is by Andrea Beatty, illustrated by David Roberts. Iggy Peck Architect. So let me take this paper cover off. You guys know the deal by now. All right. Oh, I like this cover too. Isn't that cool? His architectural creations. And then on the back, somebody throwing away his architecture books. No! Passionate about this, don't you understand? All right, Iggy Peck, architect. Let's see. Is this the first page? Yes, it is. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2. When he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but diapers and glue. Good gracious, Ignatius, his mother exclaimed. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past, and she realized those diapers weren't clean. Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks. Yeah, that was an ingenious thing to do, but not with dirty. Okay. But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx at 2 years old. That's pretty amazing. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples, and temples from modeling clay. If you're passionate about it, don't try to make me stop. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built the St. Louis Arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Yeah, that's probably not going to last too long. People will want to eat it. Dear Ig had it made until second grade, when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say. We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I could not care less about buildings ancient or new. She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade two. Why not? Why can't we build? That might seem severe, but she was sincere. For when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. Oh, you're 95 floors up? I think I'd be a little scared. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say, she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal How? Oh no. Now he's got to go to the principal. But that's pretty impressive. And that would take a lot of chalk. No, ma'am, Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed, and now second grade was a bore. Oh man, you killed my passion, teacher. That's not fun. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. That seems like might get Iggy's spirits up. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream. But they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. We're trapped here. Oh my, alas, kids, goodbye. Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound, luckily fainted, not dead. Oh, another time she got stuck. That's what happened in the building. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was hatching a plan which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. He's got a plan. Ooh, new book pages. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces, and on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge dangling from shoestring suspension. Look at that bridge. Ingenious idea. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade two than to spend time building your dream. Mm, don't kill anybody's dream, teacher. Now, every week at Blue River Creek Elementary in second grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirt and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from Pi, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. The end. Oh, wasn't that a great story? And for my young ones, if your parents buy you this book, got some drawing paper at the back if you'd like to draw a little building of your own. Now that was a great story. You see, sometimes when people don't understand your passion, they'll think, oh no, don't do that. That's not a good idea. You shouldn't be involved in that. But if it is a good idea and a real passion, something that's good for you to do, don't kill somebody else's dream. Sometimes as adults, we think we know what the best thing is, but we don't always know because, like everybody else, we don't know everything. Now, you see, the teacher, all because of her fear, tried to kill Iggy's dream. But in the end, Iggy had to use his passion and his dream, his gifts and his talents to help Miss Greer and the class. So, I'm so sorry about that, Instagram. I forgot to stop people from disturbing us. There you go. So, if you know a young one with a dream, try to help them to cultivate it. Don't kill it. Because if it is something that really isn't something that they want to do forever, it'll go away on its own. Never try to kill somebody's dream because you never know. That dream, that gift, that talent could help you out one day. Okay? So, great book. Iggy Peck, Architect. Cool book. I would encourage my parent friends and teacher friends to get that book too. Now, on to Mr. Crenshaw. Mr. Crenshaw. Let's find out what our cat imaginary friend is up to now. And also, I want to know what Marisol thinks about Jackson having this imaginary friend. I want to find out what she thinks. He told her the truth about everything about his family. Because before, he was just trying to, save face. We have to move because we're helping a sick family member. And it happened all of a sudden, but that wasn't the truth. So he heard Crenshaw in his mind say, "Tell the truth. The truth, Jackson." So finally, he went ahead and he told her everything, including about Crenshaw. Now let's find out what she thinks about him having this imaginary friend that's come back. Because remember, hers never came back after she outgrew her imaginary friend. So let's find out what she thinks about Crenshaw. And hopefully, we'll start to see in this installment how Crenshaw being around is possibly going to help Jackson and his family. I waited for her to tell me I was nuts. Look, Marisol knelt down to scratch Beans behind the ear. We don't know everything. I don't know why my brothers feel the need to burp the alphabet. I don't know why I like to build things. I don't know why there are no rainbow M&Ms. Why do you have to understand everything, Jackson? I like not knowing everything. It makes things more interesting. Science is about facts. Life is about facts. Crenshaw is not a fact, I shrugged. If you understand how something happens, then you can make it happen again or not happen. You want Crenshaw to go away? Yes, I said loudly, then more softly. No, I don't know. She smiled. I wish I could see him. Black, white, hairy, I said. Extremely tall. What's he doing right now? One-handed push-ups. You're kidding me. I'd love to see that. I groaned. Look, it's okay. Go ahead and call a psychiatrist. Have me committed. Marisol punched me in the shoulder. Hard. Ow! I cried. Hey, you're annoying me, she said. Look, if I were worried about you, I'd tell you so. I'm your friend, but I don't think you're going crazy. You think it's normal to have a giant kitty taking bubble baths in your house? Marisol puckered her lips like she'd just chewed a lemon. Remember in second grade when the magician came to the school fair? Yeah, he was so lame. Remember how you went behind the stage and figured out how he was making that rabbit appear? And then you told everybody? I grinned, figured it right out. But you took the magic away, Jackson. I liked thinking that little gray bunny appeared in a man's hat. I liked believing it was magic, but it wasn't. He had a hole in the hat, and Marisol covered her ears. I don't care, she cried, punching me again. And I still don't care. Ow, I said. Again? Jackson, Marisol said. Just enjoy the magic while you can, okay? I didn't answer. We walked in silence, following our usual route, past the little park with the fountain, past the bike path I'd ridden a zillion times, back when I had a bike, past the place where I broke my arm popping a wheelie, past the sign that said, Welcome to Swan Lake Village. I read that swans stay together for life, Marisol said. Usually, I said, not always. You and I will be friends for life, Marisol said. She stated it like any nature fact, like she just said, grass is green. I don't even know where my family's going. Doesn't matter. You can send me a postcard. You can email me from the library. You'll find a way. I kicked at a stone. I'm glad I told you about Crenshaw, I said. Thank you for not laughing. I can practically see him, said Marisol. He's doing backflips on my front lawn. Actually, he's doing the splits on your driveway. I said practically see him, she smiled at me. Fun fact, Jackson, you can't see sound waves, but you can hear music. That evening, Crenshaw and I went out to the backyard. Crenshaw liked the night. He liked the way the stars took their time showing up. He liked the way the grass let go of the sun's warmth. He liked the way crickets changed the music. But mostly, he liked to eat the crickets. We lay there, me on my back, Crenshaw on his side, with Aretha nearby gnawing on a tennis ball. Every so often she looked up, ears cocked, sniffing the air. It felt good, talking as the night took over. It almost made me forget that we were leaving the next day. It almost made me stop feeling the anger and sadness weighing me down like invisible anchors. Crenshaw trapped a cricket under his big paw. I told him crickets were considered lucky in China. Crickets are considered delicious in Thailand, he replied. His tail looped and snaked like a lasso at a rodeo. And in Catland. I chewed on a piece of grass. It's a good way to distract yourself when you're hungry. How do you know that? Crenshaw glanced at me. I know everything you know. That's how imaginary friends operate. Do you know things I don't know? Well, I know what it's like to be an imaginary friend. Crenshaw slapped the moth with his other front paw. The moth fluttered over his head like it was laughing at him. I hate moths, he said. They're butterfly posers. I don't know what that means. Butterfly wannabes. If you know everything I know, how come you know words I don't know? It's been 3 years, Jackson. A cat can do a lot of learning in that time. I read the dictionary 4 times last month. He tried for the moth again and missed. You used to be faster, I pointed out. I used to be smaller, Crenshaw licked his paw. I've been meaning to ask you why you're so much bigger. You weren't this big when I was 7. You need a bigger friend now, said Crenshaw. My mom walked by with a box of clothing to put in the minivan. Jackson, she said, you okay? Yep. I thought I heard you talking to somebody. I cast a look at Crenshaw. Just talking to myself, you know? My mom smiled. An excellent conversational partner. Do you need any help, Mom? Nope, not much to pack when you get right down to it. Thanks, sweetie. Crenshaw lifted his paw. The cricket scrambled for freedom. Down went the paw. Not enough to kill the poor bug, just enough to annoy him. Do you ever feel guilty about the way cats torture things? Bugs, mice, flies, I asked. I know it's instinct and all, but still, of course not. It's what we do. It's hunting practice. Survival of the fittest. He lifted his paw, and this time the cricket made a quick getaway. Life isn't fair, Jackson. Yeah, I said, sighing. I know. In any case, you're the only one who made me a cat. You're the one. I don't remember deciding that. You just sort of happened. Aretha dropped her ball in front of Crenshaw. He sniffed it disdainfully. Cats do not play, Crenshaw told her. We do not frolic. We do not gambol. We nap. We kill. We eat. Aretha wagged wildly, still hopeful. Fine. Crenshaw blew on the tennis ball. It rolled a few inches. Aretha nabbed it with her teeth and tossed it in the air. That was playful for you, I said. I plucked a new piece of grass to chew on. For someone who doesn't play? I fear you may have made me with a hint of dog thrown in, Crenshaw shuddered. Sometimes I actually want to roll in something stinky. A dead skunk, maybe, or some ripe trash. Dogs do that because I know why. Because they're idiots. I also know you will never, ever catch this fine feline specimen stooping so low. I sat up. The moon was thin and yellow. Anything else I put in the mix? Well, sometimes I worry I have a bit of fish in me. I rather like water. I thought back to my first grade self. I liked fish a lot when I was 7. I had a goldfish named George. Of course, said Crenshaw. You liked a lot of animals back then. Rats, manatees, cheetahs, you name it, he groaned. Bats, too. No wonder I like to eat mosquitoes. Sorry, I said, but I couldn't help smiling. At least you worked with animals. I have a friend, a nice guy, who was made entirely of ice cream, hated hot weather. Wait, I let that sink in. You mean you know other imaginary friends? Of course. Cats are solitary, but we're not completely antisocial. He yawned. I've met Marisol's imaginary friend, Whoops, and your dad's. It's more common than you might think, Jackson. Crenshaw yawned. Oh, sorry. My dad had an imaginary friend? It's more common than you think, Jackson. Crenshaw yawned again. I feel a snooze coming on. Wait, I said, before you go to sleep, just tell me about my dad's friend. Crenshaw closed his eyes. He plays the guitar, I think. My dad? No, his friend. The trombone, too, if I recall correctly. He's a dog, scrawny, not much to look at. What's his name? Starts with an F. Unusual name. Franco, Fiji. Crenshaw snapped his fingers, which is not something cats generally do. Finian, he said. It's Finian. Nice guy for a dog. You've seen a teacher's lounge. What? No, Finian, I repeated. Hmm, where are you, Crenshaw, when you're not with me? You've seen a teacher's lounge, right? I've peeked. We're not allowed in, or a lot of coffee cups, and Mr. Di Stefano napping on a couch. Picture a giant teacher's lounge. Lots of people waiting and snoozing and telling stories about exasperating, amazing children. That's where I stay. That's where I wait, just in case you need me. That's all you do? That's plenty. Imaginary friends are like books. We're created, we're enjoyed, we're dog eared and creased. And then we're tucked away until we're needed again. Crenshaw rolled onto his back, closed his eyes. A good cat fact to know is that they only expose their tummies when they feel safe. He, his purr filled the air like a lawnmower. Well, my friends, we find out some more. So apparently, the imaginary friends know each other and have met each other. And his dad had an imaginary friend too. And he knows Marisol's imaginary friend, Whoops. So they just wait in a waiting room until you're ready to need them. I I don't think I ever had an imaginary friend. I don't think I did. I think all my friends were my stuffed animals because I really loved stuffed animals and Barbies. So I think they were like my imaginary friends. But I wonder in this last part of Crenshaw, are we going to meet Marisol's um, imaginary friend? And is the dad's imaginary friend going to come back? Is Jackson going to ask Crenshaw, hey, Marisol and my dad need their imaginary friends. Can you talk to them and tell them to come on back? There are a lot of questions that need to be answered in this last part of Crenshaw. Okay? So, guess where we are, my friends? We are at the end of a marvelous Monday installment of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. We are at the end. It always goes much faster than I think it will. It always does. Every time I get to a certain point, which you all can't see is that I can see a timer while we're doing Miss Hope's Reading Hour. And by the time we get to the end, I'm like, really? It's that time? It's over? Well, I am so glad I was able to be here with you all to read you these books about what happens when you're passionate about something. So, what happens is that you want to share your passion with other people. That is most of the time what happens. When you're passionate about something, you have a gift or a talent that's really great and you love to do that thing, or you're passionate about food, or passionate about architecture, or passionate about working in the community. You want to share that with people. That's the wonderful thing about having a passion is that you realize somewhere inside that it's not just for you, that it's for you to share with someone else. So my young ones, think about what you're passionate about. What excites you, what makes you happy to do. So I know that my nephew David is on right now, and one of the things that he's passionate about is drawing. And he is really, really good at it. He's awesome. Both of my nephews are really great artists. So, yeah, he's passionate about it. He wants to show people all the time. He wants to share it. So, whatever you're passionate about, think about how you can share it with other people. Because more likely than not, you're going to want to share it. And it's not sharing just to say, oh, I'm so great at this, but it gives you so much joy that you can't help but want to share it. So think about what you're passionate about. And if you know someone else who's passionate about something, don't try to kill their dream, okay? Even if you think they're not as great at it right now, your passion will make you want to learn more and want to get better. So you never know how awesome they'll be at it later, okay? Well, with that being said, I'm so happy that I was able to be here with you today on this hosted reading hour on this marvelous and quite hot Monday. Hopefully, you are watching this inside of some air conditioning with a nice cool drink. And I hope that you have a great rest of this marvelous Monday. Have a great Tuesday. And I will meet you right back here on a wonderful Wednesday. Now, as I told you last week, we are getting down to the last bit of books for Miss Hope's Reading Hour. So let's go over the ways that you can donate to the Miss Hope's Reading Hour library. So the way that you can donate, my adult friends most likely. And listen, any of my young ones want to give to the adult friends so that they can donate. Hey, if you want to donate, you talk to your parents about it, and you can donate too. Okay? So the first way is through Cash App, which is the best way to donate because that money goes right out to order more books. I was looking at books this weekend, and I get kind of overzealous with the books. Like I'll put a lot of books in my cart, and then I have to weed it out depending on how much I can spend. But I get excited when I see books, okay? So you can donate on Cash App. My Cash App handle is HopeGM, HOPEGM, all one word, all lowercase. You can donate any amount there, and it will be to um, helpful to build up Miss Hope's Reading Hour library. Also, you can donate by sending a an online gift card to any book retailer that you decide to send it to. You can donate that way. Also, you can donate by sending me books in the mail. You can send me books from any place you would like to send them from. Okay? So, those are the ways that you can donate. Don't think that I forgot to post the Cash App handle and my email address for those gift card donations. I did not forget, didn't do it this weekend, but I will do it today or tomorrow so that you'll be able to see that. Okay? Well, with all of that being said, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be posting on YouTube now, to be posting live. So grateful. So please share the YouTube channel. I did post it on Facebook. I'm going to post it on Instagram. Please do share it so that other people can enjoy Miss Hope's Reading Hour too. So I'm so glad I was able to be here with you. Do know that I love you so much. I care about you and I want only the best for you. I will meet you right back here on Wonderful Wednesday at 3 o'clock on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Okay? So with that, I will say bye for now.